All right, Larry. So, middle of summer, we've got July data. We've seen a bit of softness throughout the year, but July's looking actually not too bad, especially in terms of activity and volume.
Yeah, John, let's just kick it off on a positive note. July was the strongest month for sales, the strongest July in 4 years. So across the board, across the GTHA, running anywhere from East Toronto all the way out through Hamilton area, sales are up year over year, about 10%, 10.9% to be exact,
That's great.
13% over last month. But all indications are sales for the month of July are stronger than they've been since 2021. So that is a positive, and let's start on a positive today. And
Absolutely. We'll
yeah,
take it.
but that's good. Pricing wise, we were either flat or a little lighter. We came in either at zero or down about 2% in
Yeah.
some cities, but across the board, it was, I'll call it flat. So from a pricing perspective, but
Well, consumer confidence has been weak, up to this point, but to see activity up 10 points growth in sales in July compared to last year, that's really good. And you got to start somewhere, right? So that increased activity, that tells me either confidence is up, buyer confidence, or buyers are recognizing that maybe there's opportunity now, and
well,
interest rates aren't that well. We didn't get a cut at the last
no
rate
cut in interest
announcement,
rates.
but
Unemployment numbers are up. We lost 45,000 jobs last month, and the tariff war slogs on. We've got no improvements. We had three negatives out
yeah.
there, yet sales were up. So that tells you that people are seeing through that now and realizing this is the new norm. And if we're sitting and waiting for sunnier days, they may not come. And if they do, they may be a long ways away. Pricing stayed flat, which means people are conscientious of what they're doing, but the sales are up, which means some of the buyers have started coming off the sideline saying, okay, enough is enough. We got to get something done here, which is a good sign. It's
Well,
one
yeah, you
month.
can't wait forever, right?
You can't. It's 1 month. It's not a trend until we hit several months. So let's not get ahead of ourselves. We have 1 month. Let's celebrate having one good month, and let's see what happens in August. But the driver in all of this is what you said earlier is buyer confidence. And
Yeah.
that has been the detriment of the market for the last year or more. At least certainly going back to January of 2025 when Trump took power. That has been the biggest impact on confidence, but that has been the impacting factor, and this is a good sign.
Well, it is, and what I was going to say about interest rates, we didn't get a cut at the last announcement. We'll see what happens going forward. Who knows? A lot of people are kind of prognosticating that there's still two cuts coming. I don't know, whatever. But we didn't get one in July, and yeah, obviously sales still rose, and I think and I'm hearing it a bit with people I'm talking to out in the field, clients and whatnot, that they're starting to recognize that the current rates actually aren't that bad.
They're
I
not.
was just talking to a client who was given a quote of 4.1% on a 3-year fixed on a rental property,
That's good. That's
not even
good.
owner occupied. That's a great rate.
Yeah, not your primary residence, and
Yeah.
it's not a secured mortgage. That's a good rate.
Yeah, so there's pretty decent rates out there. Probably low to mid fours, depending on the case. And you combine that with the inventory that's been available, like there's some pretty good opportunities out there.
Well, I mean, those numbers you're talking are fixed rates, and those rates aren't tied to the interest rate change anyways, to the Bank of Canada
Yeah,
rate change.
exactly.
So there's no impact there anyways. And we've actually seen an increase in the last 6, 8 weeks in fixed rates. So being in that low four number is not bad at all. Again, are we going to be high threes? Are we going to be mid fours? You're splitting hairs. At the end of the day, the
No, the
value
bigger
you save.
opportunity is that the prices have been lower, so
Yes.
you can snap up some pretty good deals, especially when inventory is strong.
Saving on the purchase right now on the purchase price is far more advantageous to trying to wait out another half a percent point change in the
Yeah,
fixed
exactly.
price. You're farther ahead. Get locked in, ride it out. You should see, I tell people if you're buying for the short term, get out of the market. This is not a market to be buying short term properties in,
No,
but where you plan to buy today and sell it in, one, two,
6 months. Yeah.
three years, that's always a risk. But if you're buying your primary residence, if you're in it for the long haul, we're in a strong buyer's market. You should be out there looking, and you should be giving it some serious thought. If this is a market or this is something that you're considering, this is a market to do it in.
Yeah, and you're not facing a lot of competition. I've been hearing a couple of, there'll always be a couple examples of, two or three offers on a particular property, but by and large, we're not seeing tons of competition on each property. And of course, you can include all your conditions in most cases. And so as a buyer, I mean, it's a pretty opportune and ideal time.
Well, John, even those multiple offer situations, I've been in a couple myself, both on the buyer and the seller side
Mhm.
over the last, 4 weeks or so. And even with multiple offers, we're not seeing the house sell for over asking price,
No, no.
right? You're still getting conditions in there. We're still seeing a lot of condition of sales in there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, even in multiple offers, not only am I seeing home inspection and finance, I've seen, sale of buyer's home included in a multiple offer and
Yeah.
seriously considered.
Yeah. I had one earlier this year. We had three offers. All three of them had that condition.
Yeah, I put a deal together last month in Burlington, and it had a condition of sale. And when they first came to us, we just kicked them to the curb because they weren't on the market yet. But when they came back to the table and we were in multiple offers, the one that we ended up working with was the one that was condition of sale because the information I gave the agent: get your house on the market, price it right, and have an action plan on how you're an aggressive action plan on how you're going to get it sold. And within 5 days, they had all those things done. They came back with a good, strong offer, but it had that condition. Well, you know what?
Yeah.
They went out and they did what they said they were going to do, and they had a sale in 5 days. We firmed up in 9 days.
No, that's great. And
It was
for that
incredible.
party, like beyond that being organized and prepared for that sale of property, well, the property had to be sold for that condition. They would have had to be priced right and presented right.
Hey,
And I'm
kudos to the
telling him,
agent that I
like,
worked with on that side and to her clients. I mean, they had a mission. They wanted to buy our house. They came to the table with an aggressive action plan after our conversation, and they executed. So kudos to them, man.
yeah, and so for the sellers who are maybe seeing some sorry, for sale signs sitting around their neighborhood for longer than they're used to seeing, and days on market have been a bit longer. We do know that. It comes down to price and presentation. If you've got it priced right and it's presented right, you're probably going to have reasonable success. So I wouldn't discourage a seller in any market, frankly. You just got to work with the market you got and have like you say, a mission, have a game plan, and the results will come.
Funny you say days on the market. I was just looking at that stat this morning, and the average days on the market right now on detached homes, we're pushing close to 65 days as an average.
Yeah, 2 months.
That's across the board. So if you looked at the median on that, it's a lot higher than people expect.
Yeah.
We have a
But you
lot of
can
homes.
still get, priced right, presented right. You can still get it
Well,
done.
that's the thing. And we're still running into people that are stuck in 2021. And I understand you feel your home has a certain value. John down the street sold his place for X and you expect to get X because you have a nicer backyard or you have a nicer this or that. But what's more important than what your backyard looks like versus theirs is the time in the market you're selling in. So there
Yeah.
are some people that are still hung up there, and that's okay. I mean, if they've got the time to wait it out, you can wait it out. But if you're serious and you want to make a sale and you want to buy and you're upsizing or downsizing, you got to look at the market you're trading in. And we keep repeating this message, but if you're buying and selling in the same market, look at
Hmm.
your differential. Don't look at your sale price.
Yeah. Doesn't matter what the numbers on each end are. It's the difference in between.
You got it. You got it.
Well, we won't drag on too long this
Yeah,
time.
we had a good month. So let's capitalize on that. Let's make that the focus of this
And
meeting
end
this
on a
month
good note.
and end on a good note, man. So let's hope August comes out to be a strong month again, but we'll see. And maybe by the end of September, October, we might have a trend going. Who knows?
Let's hope so. All
All right,
right.
bud.
Until then, we'll talk soon.
All the best.